What's your biggest regret? At the height of my substance use, a fellow junkie happily informed me that we had a promising new plug who went by Miss Coco. I go to the address the very next day and realize this woman lived only a few streets down from my home girl Selena. I stopped by her place first to check in. When she asked me why I was in the neighborhood, I told her I was coming to see Miss Coco, and her expression changed. She told me that Miss Coco was a cold-blooded killer. Selena begged me to be careful. Of course, I didn't listen. It was just an old woman after all. I slid over to the address of this little house and knocked on the door. She was supposed to be expecting me. The door cracked barely open and I saw how short and old she was. All I could really see was a slice of her face and one of her bloodshot eyes. She asked my name, I told her, and she opened the door for me. She told me to follow her and I finally got a real good look. She was so feeble looking and walked with a cane. Her head was wrapped in a silk bonnet and she was wearing something like a muumuu. Diabetes had taken part of her left foot. We're in the living room now and she asked me to sit down. I chose the only empty spot on the couch. The entire house was cluttered, but not dirty. She offered me a drink and a snack. She looked at me with surprisingly kind eyes. I remember thinking Selena was foolish for buying into all the hood tales of how dangerous this woman was. She was basically the nice grandma poster woman. I drank a soda, declined a snack, and purchased her entire prescription of pain meds. She'll be getting it filled again on the same day next month, she informed me. I returned to her house on a routine schedule for several months. I always drank a soda, declined a snack, and went happily on my merry, intoxicated way. I even got to know her a bit during my visits, her diabetes, her kids, how helpful grass was for her pain. I brought her a reefer to share here and there. I even helped her move some furniture one day. Never a mention of her late husband though, and I wasn't going to ask. I had long forgotten any sort of wild ideas about this sweet old woman possibly snapping at any moment. One summer month, it was my day to go to Miss Coco's. My boy Shane was with me already, so I decided to let him ride along. We show up and go inside. Same routine as always. She looked at him somewhat suspiciously, but I told her he was a good person and she allowed him in. During our little chat, Shane mentioned something about wanting to see a movie that had just come out. I think it was Transformers. Miss Coco got excited and told us she happened to have a bootleg of it that we could borrow. Sick. She let us look through a giant stack of bootleg DVDs and take whatever we wanted. We took 3 of them and she simply asked that we return them when we were done. That night we decided to watch the one Shane had wanted to see, so we popped it into the player at my place. Immediately it was unwatchable. It seriously looked like a cell phone video. Sheila LaBeouf looked more like Sheila Beef. The Transformers looked like big Hot Wheels rolling around. You could see people in the theater walking around in front of the screen. The guy filming was talking loudly to his date the entire time. Garbage. We laughed about it, assumed the other 2 were just as bad and watched something else. A few days later I was going to hang with Selena, so I figured I'd swing by and return the DVDs to Miss Coco. I tried calling, but she didn't answer. I walked up to the doorstep and knocked. Still no answer. No big deal, I'll just leave him here by the door for her. She had a storm door that had a screen on the top half, and was solid metal on the bottom half. I opened that door, propped the DVDs up against her actual door, and then closed it. That way they couldn't be seen, and were protected from the weather as well. I go on to Selena's place and don't give it a second thought. Later that night I'm using with my friends and my phone starts ringing. I was horrifically faded, so I just decided to ignore it. I don't feel like talking. It rings again. And again. Finally my homie is like, "You gonna answer that?"